let you guys know, not that anyone's on camera or anything anyway, but that I am, whoop, nope, cancel, that I am recording this last part, or at least this part where we're talking about the assignment. So I'm sure it won't be anything snazzy, but if you are watching this later, you're watching this because you need help with the 4.2 stock market assignment. Now, don't be intimidated by the assignment. I've tried to give you a great website. Some stocks are private, like some companies are what they call privately owned. You can't buy parts of those companies. But companies that are publicly owned, you can buy stocks or shares in that company. So some of the big ones that I think we've all heard of, I've listed here. And these are just some commonly known. Amazon, American Eagle, Apple, Coach, Google, Electronic Arts, as in EA Sports, you know, like the video games, GameStop, Harley Davidson, Hershey, I mean, who doesn't like chocolate? Nike, Pixar, Target, okay? So those are all publicly held companies. They refer to them as publicly held companies, and that you could go through a stockbroker and purchase stock in Target or GameStop or Kleenex or Pepsi. Lots of different companies. When you start looking, you realize there are a lot of companies that are owned by bigger companies. For instance, Gatorade is owned by Pepsi. And so if you're like, I want to buy stock in Gatorade, you'd actually buy stock in PepsiCo. But anyway, I kind of digress there. So these are some companies. When you're doing the assignment, you can choose 2 of those companies, or you can choose any company that sells their stock. All right, so it doesn't have to be limited to those, but I just wanted to toss some out there to get your mind going. You know, I mentioned Pixar, so maybe you think of, oh, what about Disney? Okay, Walt Disney Company, that's another one that you could do. I mentioned Harley Davidson, maybe someone wants to do Honda. Okay, so this website is going to be the hot ticket for you. Now, I'm not saying that you can't answer the questions elsewhere, because you can. This was just one of the friendlier spots as I was poking around for information. So what you're going to do is, I put here in red, put your first company here. So if I was going to do Pixar, then I would type in Pixar there. And I'd put my second company over here. So whatever company you are choosing, you're going to type the company name up in that top side. You're going to do 2. And then we go here to Finance Yahoo, or Yahoo Finance. And then if I see up here at the top where the search bar is, it says search for news, symbols, or companies. So if I type up here Pixar, well, it looks like Pixar has become a private company. So I'm not, so don't do Pixar apparently. How about if I do Walt Disney, the Walt Disney Company. So here's the Walt Disney Company. Now, when I asked on there the ticker, that's like the little shorthand note. So this DIS, if I put Walt Disney here, I could type, I put Walt Disney here, then I'm going to put DIS. And then I'm supposed to find what's the highest and lowest price for the past year. Now, you might just be able to straight up Google that. But you see over here where it says 52-week range. So 52-week range means that's showing me the lowest price. 52 weeks is a year, right? So that's showing me the lowest price and the highest price for a year. If I also go to this in the graph where it says 1 year, and then I find the lowest point, there's the lowest point. Ooh, that must have been a, because that's not actually what that says. But this shows me what the prices have done. What do you guys think happened? Why did Disney's price go down in March? They had to close down because of COVID, right? Okay. And then, you know, parks are closed. They can't do much. And then they start to gradually open back up. Parks aren't their only business, but it's a big part. And so that's why we saw the big steep decline in March. So over here in the summary part where it says 52-week range, this is what you can use for the high and the low. So we can use that, and it's going to be listed low to high. And so that's where you can get this highest price and lowest price. And it even says 52 weeks. So I would type those in here. I could finish one company, then do a second company. That's probably what I would do. You could go back and forth either way. And then here, all of the things past this are things that you would consider if you were really choosing what to invest your money in and you wanted to be smart about it. But I don't think any of us are using this like to actually invest right now. So I just want you to answer at least 3 of the following questions. So you do not need to answer every single question. All right, so there's a cut 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There are 8 questions that I want you to choose 3 of them. And then down here at the bottom is question number 4. That based on what you found and maybe just what you know about the company, do you think this company is worthy of consideration? So maybe you would say, this company seems to be in some trouble. I wouldn't want to invest. You know, I don't even want to, or yes, they have been making money, but it should be based on what you see up here. So like, how would I answer these questions? So I would pick one. So this first one says, what's the current state of affairs? Is there a record of consistent growth? Where's my screen share is jacking things up on me. And I should probably make sure. Okay, I am sharing screen 1, so it's changing when I change. Whew. So this summary is not going to help me on some of those kind of things. There is, I believe, there was. So if I look here at the company outlet, it's not going to let me. I have to. It's probably something you have to pay for. So forget that. Don't go to company outlet because I ain't asking anybody to pay for it. So at this point, I clicked on profile, like what exactly do they consider this company? Now you may know some things about what, like who's Disney's competition? Who would you say is their competition? This also lets you know like ESPN. These are all things part of Disney company. ESPN, FX, National Geographic. So knowing some of those other things that are included may also let you know like that would be, oh, well, I know that's increasing or that's doing well. I'm just kind of poking around here. Here we go. So on the thing that says analysis, so we have earnings. Earnings would be money coming in, right? So if I see negatives on my earnings, that's not like what I would want to see to feel good about the company right now. Okay, now obviously 2020 is kind of a different animal, but when they say like consistent growth in revenues or sales and consistent growth in earnings. So if we look at these earnings and I see here, look at that where it says EPS, and I see my earnings, that my earnings have been negative in this current quarter. Now, if I look at the current year, for the whole year, it's still made money. Okay, so don't want to think just super short term, but depending on the company, you're going to see some different things here. So I found this part with the earnings under analysis. So when we started out, we were on this summary page when we first searched for a company, got the high and the low from this 52-week range. And then actually this EPS, that's that earnings per share. So I could have gotten that there too. So earnings is money coming in. So you really would rather that be positive. And so that's, get that back. So has there been consistent growth? Are they consistently earning a profit? How does it compare with its competitors? Depending on the companies you choose, like if you chose Nike, you could talk about how Nike compares with Adidas maybe. So some of those you wouldn't have to do as much looking at. Again, you only need to answer 3. So the one that says EPS, we can find that about this EPS and also on analysis. That would be one question. I could think about if it's a company I know about, I could think about their competitor without doing a lot of research. And then if you just scroll down to the bottom, you might see that there are some things like Disney has a reorganization, and they're saying, without even reading the article, I can see that they think what's going on with Disney is a positive thing. That would be something going on with the company. And then this is their revenue. I'm at that summary page. Probably could do a lot without going off the summary page now that I see. Down here where it says financials, see these revenues. So revenue kind of went down a little bit, but the last couple years, revenue has been going up. So we had a question about that. So if I chose Disney, has there been consistent, is there a consistent growth in revenue or sales? And in the past 2 years, I could say in the past 2 years, there is a consistent growth. So it is going up. Revenue is going up. Now, it looks like their earnings actually went down a little bit here, but the revenue is the green bar. The bars are going up, so it is increasing. Lots of information on here that we don't need to worry about, okay? So you don't have to understand everything you're reading. But for whichever companies you choose, remember this part here, that 52-week range, that's going to give you your high and low for the last 52 weeks. This EPS, that gives you that earnings per share. And you would like that to be positive because right now they're losing money per share. So this is a question everybody has to answer because it's above that line. And then clear those off. Close that for a second. Close that and then same, if I just stay on the same page. And this also shows me about earnings. And shows me that, and so this is quarterly. So earnings were up, and then this year earnings have been falling. But over the last couple years, our revenue has been growing. And then if you choose, again, if you choose a company that you know something about, then you may know something about who their competitors are. Okay, and it's one assignment. Do your best. I'm just asking you to get in there and dig around, just like what I just did, so that you can answer some of those questions. Again, you do not need to answer all of the questions. You need to answer the high, low in the 52 weeks. What's the ticker? That's like the abbreviation. And then you're also going to be answering 3 things below. And then finally, like, what do you think? Do you think this would be worth looking into to invest or not? Now, I chose Disney. You can choose whatever, but apparently don't choose Pixar because it says it's private. So they're not currently selling stock to the public. And, oh, that's what I'm supposed to do.